This is the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
Well, hi there. Yeah, back on the radio. Glad to be here with you in the studio at My Country 99.3 WCON. Steve Massey is my co-host tonight. Steve, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Good to have you here. It's going to be a fun night. Steve and I are going to be talking about all kinds of things racing-wise, and we're going to be talking, who knows what we'll talk about as things come up. We got some great guests tonight. It's going to be good. Logan Bennett is here once again. Howdy, Logan. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm glad to be back in the saddle.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. My last show here like 4 weeks ago.
Sounds about right.
You weren't even here.
I was not.
And so you had a little surgery and everything's going good.
I did, yes, sir.
You've had 5 weeks to heal. So Logan will be joining us with our NASCAR report a little later, and Steve and I are going to be talking about all kinds of things, local racing. We got a lot of great guests, as we said, lined up, so we're going to do that right now. Let's get a little quick song in. Here's Florida Georgia Line. It's Get Your Shine On. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON. Back in just a moment.
All right.
Okay, now we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Oh, thank you.
By the way, that little thing right there, that lets you know where the camera is. So if you look at this, see, if you look at that, you'll be looking into the camera. Folks, go ahead and tell us where you're tuning in from. We appreciate that. Put that in the comments. Man.
I'm going to go ahead and get our first guest on the line on standby a little earlier than usual.
Especially since he's a little guest. Yeah. So we're going to get him ready to go. Man, Steve, it's good to have you. Got to get close to that microphone. You got to be about
I'll get there.
4 inches for me. So what's been going on in your world?
Just same old thing, traveling around with a Monster Series and we've been all over the place this year. Been to Halifax, up next to Virginia. This weekend we're going to County Line, Elm City, North Carolina. It's a 6-hour ride for me. So
wow.
Hope the rain does good. So
well, around here, as most everybody knows, it's wreaking livonia's with this weekend. Livonia's canceled, Toccoa's canceled. Winder Bear is still on schedule. We'll see if they're going to be able to get their thing in or not. Now, how do these tracks do that? Do they contact Scott Morgan and say, "Hey, we want your race," or does Scott start looking at other areas and kind of convince the promoters to bring the series in? How does that work?
Well, some of like Halifax and County Line, this last couple of years they changed their normal racing rules to our rules. So they contacted Scott wanting, we got some racers from there. They come and race with us here and there some, like the Brews and stuff. They live up near Wilmington and they go, that's their home place where they go race normal at. But they got a lot of cars up that way. County Line has some different rules than we do. But we kind of combined them this weekend and hopefully everything work out right. And hopefully we get the race in. I don't want to ride no 12 hours for nothing. 6 hours there and 6 hours back.
I've been there before, and back in before cell phone days, you'd ride all the way to a racetrack, and there'd be a sign up, rained out next week, and there you are.
I don't want to ride all the way up there with Scott Morgan and Tammy Holden for nothing for no 6 hours there and 6 hours back.
Well, now when you look at tracks like that, and you got drivers, how many from the local area will follow the series up there?
Sometimes we got 6. Sometimes we got 10. The last race they had up there, they had 20-something cars. We looking for 20. We're looking for about 30 cars up there this coming weekend. 30, maybe 40. Some of those guys up there say we're gonna have 40.
Well, what size track is this?
It's a 3/8 mile track.
Can you run 40 cars, or will they start 24?
No, we will only start 24, 26, something like that. Yeah. We'll most of the time when we show up somewhere, we usually have 20-something cars. 24 is our goal every time we go somewhere.
So you take 22 on time and you have 2 provisionals?
No, well, if we only have 24 cars, we do we just qualify 15. And go for it.
T-minus 15?
15 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're coming in with Cason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you who we got. Remind me to, well, I'll remind myself to do that.
All right, here we go.
Tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we're back ready to talk to our first guest. Logan, who we got?
Got Cason Barrett on the line.
Cason Barrett. Oh, my goodness. The youngster who has had such a legacy in racing is joining us right now. Cason, how are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk with you. It's been a couple of years since I've talked with you, and a whole lot of things have happened since then. Kind of update us on where you've been running.
I've been running at Cumming and Cumming, Georgia.
DC Shootout.
Does Lanier still have their quarter midget track, or is it no longer running?
No, they shut that one down.
Oh, did they? Shoot, I hate that. So how you been doing this year so far?
I've been doing good.
How many wins you got under your belt?
I've got a few.
Dude, good.
We're currently 4th in the Dixie points in one of my classes and 5th in the other.
Okay, now does that Dixie division, does it run at various racetracks, or is it something that just runs there at Cumming?
It runs at a bunch of different racetracks.
So you travel some?
Yes.
Okay, doing like Granddaddy used to do and be part of a series that travels, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, see, now you don't know about your Granddaddy, but let me tell you, Kevin Barrett used to be the stuff. He had a great traveling team, and he was a threat to win anywhere they went, and most of the time he did. They brought a lot of trophies back home from the Parts Pro Truck Series and a lot of other things that he raced. Have you seen all those trophies?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Wouldn't it be great to have a whole library of trophies like he's got for yourself? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
So now tell me about your last race. When was it?
It was the pre-region at NGQMA at Cumming.
Okay.
We won the feature in both classes.
Wow. So now tell me about the difference in those classes that you run.
So Light World Formula, which is the fast one, it will go 60 to 70 miles per hour. And then Light 160, which is the slower one, will go 50 to 55 miles per hour.
With quarter midgets, are you kind of at the highest division of quarter midgets, or is there yet another faster division to go to?
I'm at the highest division.
So how long will you stay there before we see you in a full-bodied car of some kind?
About one more year, maybe.
Okay, so what's
One or two more
that?
years.
What's that going to be? Are you going to be in a Legends car? Are you going to be in a four-cylinder, a front-wheel drive? What are they talking about for you?
Oh, dirt late model.
Late model. You're going straight to a late model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're going on dirt. Now, Cumming, all of the quarter midget tracks are asphalt, aren't they?
Some of them are dirt, but those are the national races.
I see. How have you done on those dirt tracks?
I haven't been to any yet.
Okay, so that's a brand new thing for you then.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. I know that, you've got so much lineage in your history with your great-granddaddy, your granddaddy, your granduncle, I guess is what you call Mitchell, your dad, all of those guys that race so much, and your Uncle Charlie, all those guys race so much till it's just in your blood. I got a feeling that when you hit the track, you're going to know exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your cars. What are they made like? What are quarter midgets like? Are they more like a go-kart, or are they more like a bandolero car? What would they look like to the person who doesn't know?
They're a quarter scale midget, but on asphalt.
I got you. So they're just like a midget, but smaller. I think
Yes.
Steve Massey's got a question for you.
Yeah, I want to know, if you've been winning all these races, have you got a nickname yet?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? The fans still cheering you, or they started booing you? You won so many.
They've still been cheering.
They still cheering. Well, wait till you win a bunch of them. They'll start booing you and throwing stuff at you some point in time.
Wait till you get a little older, and that will start happening
Yeah.
for sure. You know when you've made it whenever the fans turn against you.
That's right.
Charles has seen that happen to me before, right?
Yep, Kevin, I have seen that a time or 10.
I've seen it a few times myself.
Yep, it
There you
seems
go.
to happen. Everybody likes a driver that runs in second place in a beat-up race car. Once you start winning, nobody likes you anymore. So Kevin, what's it like having to see the fruits of your labor start to play out in a winning race driver like Kason?
Oh, it's the grandest thing it could be. I thought I was done. Then we got started with this, and I've really enjoyed it, and we're back at it. So it's really good.
Well, I heard some rumors that we might even see you in a dirt late model again. What happened to that idea?
I think I about got too old, Charles. I thought about it a time or two and got pretty close to doing it a time or two, but I don't know. My brain don't work good as it used to.
Well, whose does at our ages, man? I tell you what, you see yourself slipping a little bit every time. Hey, Kevin, I got a question for you. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. Y'all hang on a minute, okay? Kevin Barrett and Cason Barrett are our guests. We got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Hunting season is just around the corner, and it's time now to think about that great mount you're going to be hanging on your man cave wall. Hugh Bryant at Antler Creations Taxidermy can fix you up with the best specimens in the area. After all, he's been doing professional taxidermy work for over 30 years. And don't forget your fish, turkeys, pheasants, and other animals to be admired as well. Hugh knows you want the best, and that's what he offers. Just bring your harvest to 1554 North Fairview Road in Livonia. Choose Hugh Bryant at Antler Creations Taxidermy.
When you're a get-the-job-done type of guy, the type of truck you get behind matters. It needs to be tough, trustworthy, and above all, it needs to be a Ram. America's longest-lasting pickup trucks and trusted by more get-the-job-done type of guys than any other truck on the road. Take advantage of the Ram clearance sale right now with all Rams in stock sold below invoice at Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Highway 129 in Cleveland. The best price every time, period.
Do you remember as a kid riding along with your Tonka toys, dozer, and dump trucks? Well, that childhood memory can come to real life at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Now, Simpson is looking for men and women who want to work and who know the value of a hard day's work and who want to get paid well for doing it. If you're open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
If you're looking for late model used car parts, look no further than Peach State Auto Parts on the Royston Highway in Cannon. That's in the Gold Mine community on Highway 29 between Hartwell and Royston. Scott Heumann and his staff also buy scrap metal, copper, and aluminum cans. They will pick up your junk cars for free. If you need roll-off bins or containers for business or construction, call on Peach State Auto Parts and Recycling. Call Scott today at 706-245-4407. That's 706-245-4407.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Steve Massey is here with me as well. He is my co-host tonight. We're talking with Cason Barrett and also with his granddad, Kevin Barrett. Kevin, when you look back at your racing career, man, so many great things have happened. And not only that, but the opportunity for your dad to be voted into the Hall of Fame at Anderson Motor Speedway, that was just a real big plus.
It was, Charles. We went over there, and they had that inductee thing. I guess it was Friday night, a week ago, and it was really great, and really appreciate the people out there that's listening that voted and helped get him in, and it's really a big deal for all of us.
Yeah, I was certainly glad to see that. He was Charles Barrett needs to be in every Hall of Fame around here, that's for sure, because he certainly deserved it. And you watched him race, didn't you, see?
I've seen him a lot. Did Anderson back in the day, and I remember the old Pinto and the Fair Lane and that and this and that and the other. And I don't remember if he drove the Pinto first or Mr. Moore. What's Marvin Moore, drove a Pinto too. I don't know which one drove one first. It might have been the same car. I don't even know. I remember they look alike.
I remember Charles in that number 11 silver Pinto, and I was telling him one night about him going through the wall at Tacoma and hitting a parked car out there. And Mr. Barrett said, "I forgot all about that." And I said, "Well, I did, and I was a kid, and I remember it well." So Kevin, you and Mitchell, man, y'all just had storied careers running kind of simultaneous there. Driving for so many years and carried on the family name and that was just great times.
It was, and I said some other day, you don't even think about it, but I've done it 30 plus years, and that's unreal. You don't even think about it till you slow down and quit, and you realize now you couldn't do it now if somebody held a gun to your head.
Isn't it something how that works? Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the folks that help Cason out. Cason, you got sponsors, folks that help you out, maybe product wise, or either just sponsors that help you as far as partners on the race car.
Yes, sir.
So
Safety Plus. Safety Plus, Curbco, ADS Plumbing, P&B Petroleum, Express Mart, D. Oliver Enterprises, Bell Equipment, Bo McClure, Alpine Shriners Club, and Barrett Accounting and Tax.
Okay, now who have you got that's where's your next race going to be?
It was going to be this weekend, the Dixie Shootout race at Cumming, but it got rained out. So our next race will be in North Carolina on October 19th.
Wow, so you got a little while before that race comes about. Who helps you keep that cart up or that quarter midget up ready to go?
My dad, my uncle, my grandfather, my engineer, Perry, and that's about it. I help a little bit, some too.
Well, I bet you do. As long as I've known the Barretts, they've been in some kind of race shop every night of their lives, seems like, and that continues on. So that's a pretty cool deal. Kason, listen, we want to thank you for being on. Kevin, thanks for facilitating this, and good luck when you're out there, and you and Grandmama Vonda cheering him on to victory each week.
Well, we thank you, Charles, and y'all have a good evening, and appreciate you having us on.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin. We appreciate it. Kevin and Cason Barrett joining us on the program. Time now for a little Darius Rucker. You know, Darius is talking about that homegrown honey, and we all know a little bit about homegrown honey. Darius is going to talk about that. You are listening to My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
Now we're back talking again. It's neat to have kids like that coming up in the world.
Yep.
You know, for a long time, I thought that the youngsters were that generation. We were losing them. You know, it looked like everybody was adults or in their 30s, and no younger ones coming in. The young guns have just really propelled that. The 602 Chargers, and I know you were instrumental 20 years ago in the changing over of stock fours and getting. Stock fours were down to 3 or 4 cars, and you and several other people kind of got together and said, we need to do something about it. And y'all revitalized stock fours.
Well, I think Monster Mini has been going 10 years now. 2014 was the first year. And, we more or less got we had got all the tracks with the same rules where everybody, you know, you ain't stuck going to Westminster or Toccoa or whatever. You can go to, you know, you go to Harris back then, you can go to TR every week, or you can go down to Lawrence, and just about anywhere you go in the Carolinas, you can go run the same rule package as everybody else had, and I think that helped a lot. And the first few years, you know, it was pretty good, and then it fell off some. There's a lot of competition in Monster Minis.
Really?
A lot of and this new Thunder Bomber thing, man. Last year at Charlotte, we had 70 cars in Thunder Bomber at Charlotte. I wouldn't doubt we don't have more this year.
So now, a Thunder Bomber, I'm not a Thunder Bomber person because I'm a modified street stock 8 person, but isn't it like a modified street with a stock 8 motor? I mean, what is the deal?
It's a stock 8 with a pure stock motor in it. I mean, it has a pure stock motor in it, or supposedly. So, and they got
I thought a stock 8 was a pure stock motor. What happened to that?
Stock 8 is what old Enduro used to be.
Right.
It's a whole different ball game these days. Back when me and David Luss running the Enduro in the 90s and 2000s and stuff like that, we had pretty much what a stock 8's got now. And car-wise and motor-wise, it's modified street is it's more than a hobby what a hobby car used to be. I mean, it's come a long ways.
I'm glad to see, you know, they were kind of dying out for a while. I'm glad to see the numbers building up modified street again.
You know, around here, stock 8 and modified street both have picked up a lot.
Yeah.
I know street stock's around, and it costs a lot for a street stock car. But I mean, I'm $40,000-$50,000.
It's unreal.
Yeah, but you know, when you get one, they several $10,000 to win purses.
Yeah.
At the end of the season last year, Rod Tucker won 3 races, $30,000 at the end of the season.
Rod's something else.
Rod Tucker's a wheel man.
He is. There's no question about that. I've had Rod on the show.
I hope he ain't listening. I don't want to swell his head, but all around driver. Yeah. I think he's one of the best he is. Been around here in a long time.
He is. I like Rod a lot. I did a live show over at Buffalo Bar and Grill, and Rod came down and did it with me. David Smith came that night. Lee Cooper and little Luke, they all came down and did that live show. It was a lot of fun down there. So now you kind of similarly had the same kind of thing going with 602, didn't you? Weren't you? You saw the hobby class just dying off, and you and Brad, maybe Scott Childress, I don't know how many of you got together and decided we need to do something, and that's where the 602 series was born.
It actually started off with when the 602s went from hobby to 602. That was kind of an Andy Hyde deal.
That was Andy.
Yeah, Andy, when he had Nicola, he started putting those cars together, and then evolved into the series. And me and I moved down right before I moved down to the beach. Me and Scott started that series, and
Scott Morgan.
Scott Morgan. Okay. Me and Scott Morgan done it, and we done it just like I did. When I started Monster Minis, I called Brad York. I said, "Hey, Brad, I want to do this class." And I said, "Will you give me a race?" And he had Livonia and Nicola, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "But I want to be a part of it." So that made him a partner with me in Monster Minis. And a lot of people don't know that the first 2 partners I had was Scott Childers and Brad York. And they sold out to Johnny Raines and Mark Marcingill.
Right.
And led to them buying me out because we had different ways we wanted to go, I think. But
yeah. And Scott got it. Scott Morgan.
Then later on, Scott Morgan got it, yeah. And when Scott got it, I kind of picked back up. Me and Johnny Mark, all was friends. But we just had kind of different philosophy, I guess, on how we want things to go. And one thing led to another, and they bought me out. So when Scott come back in it, and me and him started the Thunder Bomber deal. I mean, not Thunder Bomber, 602 Thunder Series, which is 602 late models. And we done that for a while, and I tell you, man, it's a good deal, and I think we accomplished some stuff. But a lot of people say we hurt racing by a series. I don't know if that's true. I think we got rules where everybody can go wherever they want to race at. You learn more by going somewhere else.
Absolutely.
If you race the same place every week, that's the only place you're going to be good at.
Yeah. I've always said those drivers that get out there and visit tracks, they can adapt quicker to a track change than anybody else because they're familiar with different surfaces.
Yeah, well, a lot of times we hadn't had a lot of Georgia boys follow Monster Minis. This year, Justin Jacobs and Nick Fulcher, they've been every race we've had. They ain't missed a show.
Well, that's good.
And both of them's running good. They're in the, I think, top 6 or 7 in points. And I ain't sure where Justin is. He may be 5th or so. I'm not sure exactly where Justin is. Nick's a little bit behind him. Nick's had some bad luck. Nick's something else, man. Nick can blow up, wreck, total his car, and get out smiling.
Nick's going to be with us on the program here in just a little while. And I believe we got somebody on the line here in just a minute. Logan, you got somebody ready?
Yeah, Kelly's ready.
Right. Okay, how long are we out?
We have a minute of Rascal Flatts song.
Okay, we still got a minute. Now, your background in racing, you go back to starting like in a teenager in Westminster, didn't you?
I started racing motocross when I was 5 years old. My daddy come home from Vietnam and got me a dirt bike. And then I raced some go-karts for a while. I didn't really start cars till I was 21 years old. 87 when Westminster opened back up. And Dennis and them started that track. Of course, I worked at the go-kart track forever when I was a kid. And Dennis Holbrooks was like a big brother to me. And, of course, he run about 2 races, and him and Richie Reed had the racetrack. And me and my brother, Kevin, a lot of people don't know I had a brother. He was a adopted brother named Kevin Bonner. He got killed in '89 on a motorcycle. But we told Dennis and Richie, we said, "Hey, man, we want to race, but we can't afford no V8 car. So, you got anything in the junkyard?"
T-minus 10.
Okay.
And next thing you know, I think 4-cylinder racing was invented.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right, hang on.
Pedal to the metal with the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And it's time to get our next guest on the line. Logan, who we got?
We got Kelly on the line.
Kelly Cox is joining us right now. I've been trying to get Kelly on for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and our schedules just didn't work out to come do a live show. And that's good because he put it back in Victory Lane Saturday night, and he joins us right now. Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, Mr. Charles?
We're doing fine, man. It's good to talk to you.
You too, sir.
So where has work got you tonight?
I actually got off early today just in time to do this.
Ah, okay. Where you at?
I'm in Hull, Georgia.
Okay, so you're just outside of Athens then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am.
Let's talk a little bit about that win Saturday night, man. Tell us about how it was, because y'all were doing the big thing for Appalachia, honoring them Saturday night. A lot of eyes were on Windermere Speedway and the special lap that they had honoring the kids from Appalachia and the staff and so forth. So what was the atmosphere like for you?
It was good all night. The track just dried up a little bit, and I had a good run. And I pushed up, and the guy ended up getting around me, so he ended up winning the race, but didn't pass through tech. So luckily enough, I was behind him, and it fell in my hands.
Well, I tell you what, you put yourself in a position to win, and when you look back at your racing career, you're probably going to have just as many of those that you won in a special situation like that as you will those that, man, you were coming to the checkered flag and a tire went flat or something stupid happened. So, take the good with the bad, because the bad comes along, and you might as well expect the good and enjoy those when they come around your way.
Oh, yes, sir. I fought the bad for about 6 years, so you get that.
There's always plenty of bad to go around, that's for sure. So tell us about your season. How's it been? I know you've been to Victory Lane several times this year.
Yes, sir. I've gotten Victory Lane twice this year, and luckily enough, I got to drive for Jake McBride this year after he had his back surgery. He wasn't able to do it, so I filled in for him, and he gave me a good car to drive, and I had a lot of people that actually helped me along the way. Wayne Chapman, he gave me good advice and helped me out a lot with the car. So I've had a good year. This has been the best year I've had in racing since I've started.
Well, I know Wayne Chapman is listening in right now. I see that he's watching us on social media. And Wayne Chapman gave you good advice. Back up and let's explain that.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, we're all in together. Jake and him and me, we're all a team. We all work together, give each other advice as much as we can. We try to help each other out as much as we can. That way, one of us is not going to outrun the other one without telling them what we did.
I got you. Yeah, Steve's got a question for you.
If I was you, instead of asking Wayne, I believe I'd ask Trey.
Oh, yeah.
You might get a little better asking Trey,
Yeah, Trey hasn't learned the art of deception yet like Wayne has, I don't think. So now, Kelly, let's talk a little bit about what's some of that advice he gave you. Tell me about that. What's something that you just said, man, I didn't know that till Wayne Chapman told me that.
Well, it's a lot of, instead of you running in real hard, I backed the car off and slowed up a little bit and got the car to rotate in the corner more and pick the throttle up where it wouldn't spin the tires as much. He's helped me out a lot with that, because I used to be just wide open full throttle all the time.
Yeah.
And between that air pressure, it's a lot of difference in front wheel drive.
So now, you haven't put a beer bottle on your car yet? I mean, my goodness, Wayne would need you to glue one of those things on the back of the car.
No, not yet. Which, I mean, and I hate to say it, this year is my last year in it, and I'm going to run on and off from now on out, but I'm moving on up. I've done what I wanted to do in front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So I'm moving up to 4-cylinder next year.
I got you.
And trying my luck with that.
Have you been in one before? Is there that much difference in the way that
There is a lot of difference. A lot of people say they ain't, but there is. There's a lot of difference. Wayne Chapman will tell you straight that the rear-wheel drive is totally different from front-wheel drive. Yeah. It's like restarting over everything.
I got you. So it's going to be a learning curve when you get back in there. So have you already got your car ready to roll? I mean, is this for sure for next year?
Yeah, I got the car. I'm putting it all together over the winter time, and I'll be ready to go the first part of the year.
Great. Listen, Kelly, I want you to hang on a minute. We got to take a quick break and come back and talk some more. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Kelly Cox is our guest. We got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We're on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Modern Tire and All Terrain of Hartwell is Equip you with the best tires on the market today. They offer all major brands of tires for your car or truck, as well as your off-road and all-terrain vehicles. They have tractor and farm implement tires too. Brakes, alignments, oil changes, equipment rentals, and roadside assistance are always available at Modern Tire and All Terrain. Plus, they're your home for truck accessories too. Lift kits and leveling kits available for purchase or installation. And also racing supplies and performance shocks to help the local dirt track racer. Financing is available on all purchases. That's Modern Tire on 293 West Howell Street in Hartwell.
Hey, let me tell you about one of my absolute favorite racetracks, Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's the ultimate motorsports playground. From the high-performance F1 style road course to the challenging extreme kart track, you'll find Atlanta Motorsports Park a facility like no other. The country club atmosphere features not only the performance of the high-powered racing machines, but also a putting green, a great pool area for lounging, and a world-class skid pad to learn how to handle any out-of-control situation. The kart track is a mainstay for those who want to rent a kart for an experience like no other. Check out the schedule of activities at AtlantaMotorsportsPark.com. It's in Dawsonville. Just follow the signs to fun.
Bowling Farm Supply is like a step back in time. Remember when you go to the feed store with your dad or granddad? Well, at Bowling Farm Supply, you can relive those great memories. Of course, they have feed, seed, and fertilizer along with soil, hay, and mulch, but they have so much more. A massive selection of knives, names like Case, Buck, Poker, and Rooster, and handmade knives, jugs, antique Zippo lighters. It's more than just a feed store. It's a unique shopping experience. Bowling Farm Supplies are located at the corner of Highway 198 on Damascus Road in Homer.
The Baja is back in action this Saturday night. Winder Barrow Speedway is home of some of the best grassroots racing in the South. Scheduled divisions are limited late models, 602 Hobby, Modified Street, Stock 8, Stock 4A, and Stock 4B. Gates open at 4 with racing starting at 7. That's racing this Saturday night at Winder Barrow Speedway. Head to the Baja at 330 Donahue Road in Winder.
For all of your welding and safety equipment needs, try Safety Plus in Cornelia. Wendell and Pat Norton can supply you with the best equipment in the industry. Miller and Lincoln Welders, Victor torches, gloves, fire extinguishers, and personal safety equipment all in stock at Safety Plus in Cornelia. They have everything to keep you and your work environment safe and under control. Safety Plus is located on Cannon Bridge Road, and Safety Plus is a proud sponsor of racetracks and drivers in our area. Safety Plus.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Yeah, I'll be joining Mary and Joel on Monday morning as we talk about what happened over the weekend in the NASCAR races. We'll be talking about Watkins Glen, road course up there, and find out what happens. That comes your way about 8:45 Monday morning, right here on My Country 99.3 WCON. Kelly Cox is our guest. Kelly, Steve Massey got a question or two for you, I think.
Kelly, we heard you
Yes,
say.
sir.
We heard you say Wayne helps you out. Who else you got on there? You got some sponsors on the car you want to talk about?
Yes, sir. I got Justin Epps with Epps Farms. He's about my main sponsor, only person that actually gave me a chance this year. And what he is my boss, I do work for him. So luckily enough, he did give me some money. And I got Mark and Nicole and Austin. They helped me out a lot. If it wasn't for them from the other weekend, well, last weekend before last, when I had that big wreck that happened down there, he had to end up doing a lot of welding and stuff on the car for me while I was still working. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at really today, because they actually keep pushing behind me and telling me I need to keep going.
Well, hey, Kelly, this weekend it's the Roger Cooper Memorial. That's a big race at Winder always. Roger was a great guy, and of course Chuck was a great racer in his own right as well. And it's $1,437 to win. Of course, that's a Stock 8 race. But again, a lot of eyes going to be on that Winder Barrow Speedway this weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they will be. And it actually be a good race in Stock 8.
Yeah.
Always is every year in that class.
Yep, and I'm happy that they're going to do it. Steve, you got a quick comment?
I'll take that race one time.
Did you?
Yeah, it didn't turn out too good for all the Stock 8 drivers.
Oh, really? the room of doom with Steve Massey in charge of it.
But actually, no kidding, the cops had to stand behind me to get me out of there.
Oh, Lordy. Goodness
But
gracious.
yeah, I remember that weekend. I remember that year.
Hey, Kelly, listen, thank you, man, for being on the program. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us, and have yourself a great weekend at the racetrack, okay?
Y'all too. Y'all be safe.
All right. Thanks so much. Kelly Cox has been our guest. Check him out. Driver of the number 11 in victory in front wheel drive at Winder Barrow Speedway. Time now for a little bit of Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, Brooks and Dunn doing an old B.J. Stevenson song, My Maria, here on My Country.
All right.
Okay. B.W. Stevenson. B.J. Stevenson? That's not the right person. B.W.
No.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
See, that was, I was playing that song in the 70s when B.W. Stevenson did the original.
I think we still play it on the breeze.
Oh, really?
There. Yeah. We played that one there and this one here.
You got me on that, and I never heard of him.
You never heard of?
Really?
Not that one.
Oh. He's a Canadian guy, and he did My Maria to start with. He's the one that wrote it.
I know that song.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, you know it just by Brooks and Dunn.
That's right.
Yeah. So tell me about that deal at Winder. Why did so many get thrown out?
Stephen called me over there, and he said, "Look," he said, whoever wins this race," he said, I want them to be legal." And so I said, "Well, okay, whatever you say." I think he had about 18 cars, and let's see, who won 33? What's his daggum name? I can't think of his name right this minute.
Shannon Duck.
Shannon Duck won the race. He actually ended up winning the race. He got paid. He was legal. Second place car. First thing I did was stuck my hand under there to the strut. I ain't gonna call no names, but first thing I did stuck my hand under there, and he had a bump stop on it. So that got him. And then the third place car had a bump stop, and they just kept bringing cars over there. And I don't think it was about 6 or 8 cars that finished the race. 5 or 6 cars maybe finished that race out of the 18 or whatever it started. We were down to unloading cars off the trailer over there and bringing them over for me to take to get 3 legal race cars. Wow. And, I'm telling you, they some women cussed me. I mean, I know who they were too, but I'm not going to call her name either. But she apologized to me since then because she realized I was just doing my job. I was doing what I was asked to do. But, the cops, a couple of cops, they stood behind me. They afraid somebody's going to hit me in the back of the head. It was kind of funny, though.
How long after the race was over? I mean, y'all had to stay a while to take all that.
Well, I mean, it really didn't take long to throw all them guys out. It was just, I wasn't really tearing nothing apart. The only car that got tore apart was Shannon's. Yeah. And we didn't completely tear it apart, it was just minor stuff, looking at here and there, measuring stuff.
Yeah.
But, as far as what we looked at, he was right. So a lot of them had wrong carburetors, wrong shocks. Most of them wasn't even close. And Winder went a while without a tech man, and they wanted whatever cars they could get.
Yeah.
And I guess the folks run up front, maybe all of them were cheating. I don't know at one point in time, but I think Stephen's got a good thing going down there now.
He does. He's a good guy.
He's got a good smooth racetrack. And
he's up.
He got a couple of good tech men.
Upgraded the facilities really well. Can't say enough about what Stephen's done there.
That's one of my favorite places to go with MMSA.
Yeah.
We've actually
they wad them up down there, though.
Well, sometimes they do, but I'll tell you what, we went down there with a 602 series, made 25 green flag laps, never had a caution.
Really?
And we done that once in MMSA, and then we had 25 cautions too.
Yeah.
So and tore up a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
So it happens both ways down there. They're a good bunch of people down there, though.
Yeah, I like Winder. I like the folks.
Winder used to be wild, and if you didn't have some weapon with you, when you come in the gate, they issued you one. But it ain't like that no more.
Everybody's been through that. Tacoma went through that, for a lot of years in the mid 80s. I mean, it was like bringing you guns and ammo night.
Tacoma had a reputation of fighting. Westminster did for a long time. It was rough and ready, but that was just the nature of the people back then. If you tore up their car, they couldn't afford to go. They didn't have all these big sponsors and stuff to go fix that stuff. They had to fix it on their own. Right. Most of the stuff back when I started racing 4-cylinder, you couldn't go out and buy the stuff you buy now. We had to make it, figure it out.
Either go to the junkyard and modify it or make it yourself, one or the other.
Jamie tells me sometimes that it's harder to win these days. I told him he's full of bull. I said, we every race we raced back in, they was 25 cars raced most of the time. And I had to beat Ray Moore, Marvin Moore, a bunch of other people, Richie Stovall, Talmadge King, Scott Morgan and them, they come every once in a while. They stayed out down there. They were scared of me. I don't know if Scott, he's going to say something smart, but he was scared. He didn't want to come down there much. But, anyway, we had, it was a whole different racing back then than days.
Yeah.
Nothing handled. You had to drive it.
Back in those days too, around the late 80s and early 90s, we had not only a stock 4, we had a modified 4. So we had 2 different divisions running 4-cylinder cars.
Right. I run both of them back. I run a modified 4, and then I've only owned probably 3 race cars in my racing career. I drove a lot of different folks' cars. I had some good people to drive for it at times, and I had some good equipment at times. But even back then, we still made everything we had. You know, me and David, drove David Luss's cars. We'd go have a roll cage bent, and I'd weld it in.
You know, that reminded me. David was 27, right?
David number 1.
He was number 1. I thought he run to 27 something.
No,
was that your number?
That's Tracy. Tracy Aston started off as 27.
Yeah, I knew it. What number were you?
I was M1.
N1?
Yeah, M1.
M1,
and
okay.
When I first started, you know, I drove Keith Martingale, which lived across the road from me, Mark's uncle. And they had number 9. They was big Bill Elliott fans. They had a Coors Pinto one time, you know. I think Brian Sanford ended up driving it for Sammy, a boy named Sammy Watkins. But we grew up right there all together, and then we started racing, and my first car was a Vega that I got out of Richie Reed's junkyard. We went and asked Richie, you know, about some cars, and he said, yeah, and LB called after the first night we had a race. LB said, y'all got any more of them 4-cylinders over there? Uh-huh. And Richie said, yeah, so we went up there and got everything we could get to run in the junkyard and took them over to the racetrack. Some of them got hauled on the car carrier. I actually drove my Vega over there with a dealer tag, and I still hadn't, you know, cut the windshield out when I got over at the racetrack. We just set it out against a pole, took the headlights out, and raced it. And that went on for a month or so before I actually lettered it up and got bent up enough that I couldn't drive it down the road, you know. But yeah, that went on for a while over there like that. And then Russell Hart gave me a Fiat.
Uh-huh. A Fiat?
Fiat Spider convertible.
Wow.
It'd been running in street
T-minus
stock.
10.
Oh, we're 10 seconds
yeah,
away.
We got Steve on the line.
Okay, good deal. All right.
Yeah.
It'd been running street stock in.
Wow. All right.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we are back ready to talk some more racing right now. Logan, who we got on the line?
We got Steve on the line. He's good to go.
Steve Newbold. Man, is he ever good to go? Because Steve Newbold has got some new information for us. Steve, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. How you doing, Charles?
I'm doing fine. I know it's a bummer for you what happens for this weekend because you have got some big news to talk about. Last time you were a co-host on the show, we were touting the fact that you were now the new announcer at Dixie Speedway, and we thought that was going to be the topper of all, and now you got some even bigger news.
Yes, sir. So I'm actually kind of happy to announce that I've been contacted by the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series, and I'm going to be doing a little stint with them. I was supposed to have started at Livonia this weekend, but Mother Nature had a different idea. So unfortunately, I don't know when I'm going to get to start with them, but I will be doing some announcing with the Hunt the Front Series with Roby. I can't remember Roby's last name right now.
Roby Helm.
Roby Helm, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Joyner and Roby and all those guys at Hunt the Front.
Well, I am so proud of you. I tell you what, it's great to see these young guys come along and excel, and you have certainly done that. We got to know each other at Atlanta Motorsports Park and worked together there, and kind of got you at Lanier too, doing some work there, and I'm just so excited to see you moving on now and doing all you're doing. I'm so excited you got yourself a series gig. That is cool.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. Big thanks to you. You've been my mentor through this whole process. Will Rigdon at Atlanta Motorsports Park, and my grandfather for encouraging me to just keep pushing.
Yeah. Now, how did you get started in motor? We talked about this when you were a co-host with me, but refresh everybody's memory on how you got involved in. What was your first love of racing? How did that ever come about?
Oh man, my first love of racing started in go-karts. I was about 5 years old, and my father got me involved in kart racing. And I was on the dirt circuit for a little while, and I helped him out when I was a kid, and I did a couple of races of my own. I wasn't very good, to be completely honest. They always say, you know, your racing career starts and ends somewhere. Well, mine started in the seat, and eventually it will end in the booth because that's where I want to be.
That sounds a lot like my career. I started in a race car and ran a few races, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm in a booth, and I was there for 54 years. So that happens for sure. Now, what's your ultimate goal? I mean, I know you went to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Do you want to hit the NASCAR circuit at some point, or you're on the dirt rise right now? Do you want to get to the world of outlaws? What is it that's on your bucket list?
Well, I don't know if some of your younger listeners would remember the Dirt to Daytona video game, but I think I'm going to shoot for Dirt to Daytona. I'm going to start with dirt, and I'm going to eventually make my way to NASCAR if I get lucky enough to make it there.
Well, I tell you what, enjoy the ride. That's what it's all about, and the people. I can't stress to you enough, enjoy the people, because you won't find a more loyal group of people that want to help you than the folks in racing. I've just been amazed at the way people come forward and try to help you out. So just extremely proud of what you're doing. Steve, whenever you look at announcers coming in, what's it like for a competitor, or what's it like for a staff member like you? You got, oh gosh, here comes this hot to trot announcer coming in. What are we going to do with him? I mean, what do you think about those things?
I don't know. Announcers, the best thing I can tell announcers is be yourself. Don't try to be somebody that's already famous. A lot of guys, they go out there and try to imitate somebody, and that just don't work for me. Just be yourself, and just know everybody that you go around and talk to, and just have a good smile on your face.
If I could tell announcers one thing, it's get there early and walk around and see everybody there. And you need to know the driver, you need to know their wife's name, you need to know their dog's name, their kids' names. You need to know them that well. And we're the only sport you can do that. I was talking to the Atlanta Braves announcer, the PA guy, the other day, and I asked him, I said, what's it like? Well, it was Atlanta Stripers. I said, what was it like, Gwinnett Stripers? When was the last time you got together with the team? And he said, I've never even met them. And I'm thinking, how in the world can you be the announcer of a team and you've never met the guys? And here we are immersed in their history. I mean, we're with them all the time. We're a big family. Racing is just totally different than every other sport.
That's right. Especially in big series, a lot of those drivers, they get there way early. They there at the racetrack at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Days ahead of time.
Sometimes they come the night before and spend the night in their toter homes and this and that and the other. Right. If you get there and find out who they are and what they do, what they like, who their dog is, get to know them.
And here's another thing also. It's and I hate to use the term traveling circus, but it sort of is. When you're with a traveling series like that, everybody, you become traveling buddies. You'll go out and you may even do a restaurant the night before the race or something, and you have an opportunity to all hang out there. You're hanging out a lot, except not all of it's at the racetrack. So you just become close family friends because you're traveling together.
Yeah, it's like these series races with us. Our 4-cylinder deal and our Thunder Bombers. We sitting there at the sign-up tent. There's a lot of craziness going on at that sign-up tent. Everybody coming in, and we friends with about everybody or know everybody that comes over there. And there's always, of course, we got Bill Morgan. There's always going to be something funny going on around Bill Morgan. But it's always something, just get to know whoever you with, and then you'll go a long ways doing that. Yeah,
and silly season is upon us. I saw today where Bishop, is leaving his ride. Yep. A lot of guys, a lot of things are happening in the dirt world. So stay abreast of that and be able to inform the fans on what's going on. So Steve, you don't have any idea when your next race is going to be?
Well, I do know that they're racing Thunder Hill on the 20th of this month, Thunder Hill Raceway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when they want me to come on board. Mr. Joyner hasn't really told me yet when I'll be down in the pits reporting for them. If I had to guess, it would probably be either Talladega or the series finale at I-75.
Okay, so that's all the races they got left, do you think?
Yes, sir. They've got Thunder Hill Raceway, then they've got Talladega, and then I-75, if I remember the schedule correctly, but I don't have it directly in front of me.
I got you. Okay. Hey, Steve, hang on a minute. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk some more. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Steve Newbold, the brand new announcer for Hunt the Front Series. Man, we're just so glad to have him on tonight. We got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. More after this.
Mid-South Cage Equipment is one of the largest builders of poultry houses in the Southeast. At Mid-South, they welcome your questions about new technology in the poultry growing industry. From construction to final equipment installation, Mid-South Cage Equipment is your one-stop shop for the poultry grower. Chore-time bins and augers, Ziggy drinking systems, and cool air handling systems are just a few of the top brands available at Mid-South Cage Equipment on Highway 29 north of Royston.
I just got to tell you about the folks at J&C Auto Care in Toccoa. My truck was blowing oil all over the place. Well, I took it to several places who just couldn't figure out what was going on. But Jason and Clay knew exactly what to do. And you know why? They've been voted the best repair shop in Toccoa 2 years running. They're locally owned and operated. Check them out at 70 Mize Road in Toccoa. J&C Auto Care.
Hunting season is just around the corner, and it's time now to think about that great mount you're going to be hanging on your man cave wall. Hugh Bryant at Antler Creations Taxidermy can fix you up with the best specimens in the area. After all, he's been doing professional taxidermy work for over 30 years. And don't forget your fish, turkeys, pheasants, and other animals to be admired as well. Hugh knows you want the best, and that's what he offers. Just bring your harvest to 1554 North Fairview Road in Livonia. Choose Hugh Bryant at Antler Creations Taxidermy.
For the last 30 years on the Champ Racing Show, I've been telling folks about Napa Auto Parts and that great Napa know-how. Now there are even more locations for great aftermarket and genuine replacement parts to serve you. Napa Auto Parts stores are located in Toccoa, Clayton, Commerce, Jefferson, Elberton, and Hartwell in Georgia. And in South Carolina, find Napa stores in Westminster, Walhalla, Seneca, Easley, and 2 locations in Anderson. The best parts at the best prices. Napa Auto Parts and that unmistakable Napa know-how.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Stay out of the kitchen on race day and race on over to Los Amigos instead. Their authentic Mexican cuisine will satisfy every craving. Their burritos are jam-packed with flavor and fresh ingredients, not to mention crispy taquitos, loaded nachos, and all your other Mexican favorites. Enjoy live entertainment on the weekends and karaoke every Thursday night. Los Amigos is open 7 days a week on Big A Road in Toccoa.
Listening to the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Hess on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Steve Newbold is our guest. And Steve, does this mean you're going to have to give up Atlanta Motorsports Park, or are you still going to be able to work that in the schedule?
I'm going to do my best to continue with the wonderful partnership I have with those guys. I don't want to lose those guys. They've been around since day one.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun up there. And I tell you, Will Rigdon has put together a great group of announcers as well as a tremendous camera and production crew up there.
Yeah, you should have seen it when it first started. It started off as an iRacing gig during the COVID era of racing, and we did an iRacing broadcast. I wasn't a part of it then. I came on about the time they started the actual broadcast, and I've been there ever since.
Oh, really? So you were up there before I even got there?
Yes, I did a few stints up there, but I was still kind of busy on the weekends before I fully committed to doing the broadcasting.
I see. Well, I tell you what, it's a great place to be, and I'm just so excited for you and what you're doing. I think Steve Massey got a question for you.
I want to tell you, you mentioned iRacing. Some of those iRacing announcers are pretty good. They get into it. My son does that iRacing. I've been watching some of those announcers, and some of them's pretty good.
Yeah. That's some fun stuff. Now, Dixie, are they done for the season? Are you still working with Dixie?
I haven't done many races with Dixie this year. I've been trading in and out with John Matthews in the booth and in the pits. You know, he's kind of a stiff competition, but being able to work together a lot, so it makes it fun.
John's a good guy. And how about the caffeine and octane thing? Tell us a little bit about what you and Will are doing on that.
Yes, sir. So we've taken over the Cason and Octane show. It used to be on NBC Sports on the TV show, so now we've actually turned it kind of into a podcast/live stream show, and it's myself, Will Rigdon, and Pete Manacilio. Hopefully I said his name right. I butcher it every time. But we've been doing a lot of work with the Cafen and Octane crew, doing their monthly car shows down at Cobb Center at the mall.
Yeah, I tell you what, they do some tremendous things down there. The amount of cars that show up for that thing is just unreal.
Yeah, I think the last count was like 30-something thousand people, maybe even more.
Wow.
It was amazing to see that many people there.
Well, I tell you what, now, how does Lockheed figure into all this? I know you've been a full-time employee at Lockheed in Marietta, so how does that figure into all this?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
If you want me to be completely honest.
I got you.
I'm still trying to determine if I'm going to stay on as long as I can. You know, it's extra money, so in this economy, you know, you kind of do what you got to do. But that's my plan right now, to do it for a little bit longer and continue doing things side by side.
Yeah, I know we've got a looming election coming up, and that may affect the way people look at a lot of things. So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to get this into a political show, but we kind of all know where we stand on that. So let's hope we have good things happening in November. Hey, Steve, man, it's good to talk to you. Congratulations, and we'll be talking before you do that next Hunt the Front thing. I'm interested to find out how it's going to go for you.
Okay. All right. I look forward to talking to you.
Okay. Thanks so much, Steve. We appreciate it. Steve Newbold has been our guest, and another Georgian ready to do a little work for you is Alan Jackson. He's talking about Little Bitty. Yeah, it's right here on My Country 99.3 WCON. Here is Alan Jackson with Little Bitty.
All right.
Okay. So we do NASCAR in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it'll just be this one song.
It's one song.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Song, NASCAR song.
Okay. So we'll just do NASCAR and go straight to the song.
Yeah.
Okay. You got anything you want to say about NASCAR race?
No.
Okay, well, Logan and I'll just do it.
Yeah, I'll just top it off. I'll mention Logano, Suarez, and Blaney, and we'll mention it went into overtime, and you'll take it from there.
I sleep through most of it, so I can't help y'all out. I wake up for the wrecks. That's about it.
I'll talk a little bit about Joey since
that's what I watch for.
Since I know him, so we'll talk about that. Okay,
yeah, works.
All right, so do you think y'all gonna get rained out, or do you think you're gonna make a trip?
It's looking weak.
I mean,
I've called some guys up there.
That's high up. Is the rain force supposed to go there, or is it supposed to turn out toward the Atlantic?
It's only like 20% up there, and part of the day it gets up to 40%. Around race time, I think it's around 25%, and it's done rained this race out one time. And if it rains it out again,
did you go all the way up there, or did you cancel?
No, we canceled.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna. I think it was a hurricane or something about that time it rained out last time. I ain't 100% sure what the deal was.
Early in spring?
I don't remember when we had it on schedule to start with, to be honest with you, but we trying. This is their big race. This is their big 4-cylinder race. It's like Gaffney's got the Nationals.
Yeah.
This is their Nationals.
Do they have a name, like is it a memorial race or some kind of big thing for their track?
You know, I ain't paid enough attention to tell you that.
Is this track a track that's been there for a long time, or kind of
been
new
there for
track?
a good many years? I don't know exactly how long it is. I can remember it probably for at least the last 15 years or so.
What's the dirt like up there?
I have never been there.
Oh, you haven't been there before?
I have not been there before.
I bet it's sandy.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we went to Halifax, and Halifax. I've never been to Halifax. That's where Jamie Redding broke his foot and his ankle at. But we had nearly about almost 25, 30 cars there.
Wow.
And this is their sister track.
How long?
T-minus 10.
10 seconds. Okay. All right. Act like we know what we're doing. Here we go.
Usually.
All right.
Dirt tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And we're talking dirt tracks, but right now we're doing a little segment on NASCAR as we do every week. And here is Logan Bennett to tell us a little bit about what happened to the NASCAR race this past weekend.
Well, they went into overtime a little bit there, just at AMS, and Joey Logano got the victory there. We had with Daniel Suarez and Ryan Blaney taking second and third there as well. Logano didn't lead much of that race at all, only 9 laps. From what I recall, he was kind of behind the pack for most of it, right?
Yeah, Logan, he was. He just kind of bided his time and waited. And, of course, Ryan Blaney kind of pushed him to the lead. And in Victory Lane, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Blaney came up and had I'm going to say it was a Coke. It was a can of something, so we're going to go with Coke.
Sure.
And poured it down Logano's back, and Logano turned around and he thanked Ryan Blaney because if it hadn't been for Blaney pushing him, no way Logano would have won this. So, see, you got to understand Joey. When Joey first showed up here, I was doing Thursday Thunder at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I was announcing the races down there, and he showed up at 10 years old. and ran his first race in Bandoleros at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I watched him grow up all those years, 12, 13, 14 years old. Then he came to Peach State down here at Jefferson.
Yeah.
And he drove a late model. He was one of the Joe Gibbs developmental drivers. At like 13 years old, he already had a contract with Joe Gibbs.
You're kidding.
And started racing in the late models, racing against guys like Billy McGinnis and guys like that he raced with at Peach State. Sure. And he was a star at 12, 13 years old, so we knew he was going to be special. So anyway, it was kind of a homecoming, if you will, for Joey Logano to get the win in Atlanta. That was cool for him. Chase had a good race. Chase ran 12th, 14th, 7th. He led for a couple of laps. At the end, he faded down to 8th, but a good solid one as they get ready to go into Watkins Glen this weekend. That is on the playoff schedule. And so Watkins Glen, the road course, is this weekend. That's going to be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it for the NASCAR report. Any other words you got, Logan, on talking about anybody?
I think you just about covered everything that I wanted to go over.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin got hung up in a bad wreck.
Yeah, there were a few that got hung up in a couple of wrecks.
Yeah, and when they came to the checkered flag at the very end, man, there were just cars wrecking everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things. And Atlanta the drivers love it. Man, Atlanta has turned what was kind of a boring race in the late 2000s. All of a sudden now with the new paving and the banking and so forth, Atlanta is the fastest track.
Yeah,
and they love it.
It's one of the most thrilling by far and large because of that alone.
They love it. So looking forward to more. Atlanta's got 2 races again next year, and we're excited about that. Just wish one more of them was in the playoffs. It's not next year. But anyway, that's it. That is the NASCAR report. Time now for a little more country music coming your way. It's Montgomery Gentry talking about My Town. And My Town tonight is right here in Cornelia, Georgia at My Country 99.3 WCON.
All right.
Okay, so now let's see, we do the show intro coming up after this song, right?
Yeah, we'll do the intro, then we'll
do the cart giveaway.
Yeah, the cart giveaway, and then while that next song plays, I'll see if I can get it.
And I need you to tell me if you want caller number 2 or 3 or whatever. You just come up with something once I ask you. So we just got one song.
Yeah, just the one. And then we fire the intro.
And then what do we do?
We'll fire the intro, you introduce the giveaway.
And then we got one song after Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Yeah.
Before we go to...
Yeah, before we go to our next guest.
Yeah, Fulcher.
So that first song after this will be that Kenny Chesney song. She's got it all.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
I'll go get some more water at some point, but I'll wait. How long is this song?
Like 3 minutes.
Okay. I'll wait until we're commercial break to do that.
Works.
All right, so Jamie has had a banner season, but he's not running his car, is he? This isn't Sanford's car either. Whose car is this?
It's Gibson Murray.
Gibson Murray's car, yeah.
He drove for Gibson a long time ago. First year of Monster Minis, I think. Scott Morgan was driving for Gibson, and Scott quit, and I think Jamie Madison drove it one time, and then Jamie got in it. And
was that first of this year or last year?
No, this was 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
When
Okay.
he first time he drove for Gibson. I'm pretty sure it was when I was running the series back. Yeah, I know it was because Jamie qualified on the pole, and of course I was a tech man, and everybody run over. Hey, and it was a 2-day race. It was up there at the Monster Mash at Harris, and a couple people threw a fit. They wanted to know the numbers on that motor. They wanted to make sure he got rode down, make sure he didn't go change motors, because they had to go. They went and took a picture of it. Marcingill and Johnny, they took a picture of it, make sure. The next day they come back with that same motor, and he wasn't cheating. He didn't go over and qualify on the pole and come back with something illegal. I don't know. There's a few people that would do that. I ain't gonna call nobody's name. Scott Morgan or somebody like that would do nothing like that. But anyway, since I was his daddy and the tech man, I guess they want to make sure they got the right deal. But
sure.
He didn't fire too good that first one. I think when the initial start of the race, him and Larry Teal was on the front row, and both I think Jamie hit Larry, and they spun out, and Jamie went to the anyway. He ended up in the rear. He didn't do too good.
I hadn't heard that name Larry Teal in a long time. Is Larry still racing?
Larry's racing 602 now. He's down at Lawrence.
Lawrence?
Yeah. Lawrence struggled this year, man. The guy running that place, he's a good guy, but he can't get nobody to come. He's 30, 40 race cars show up.
Really? Wow.
Everybody says he's poor management, but the guy tries everything he can.
You mentioned the Brew, Greg Brew. You mentioned him earlier in that area up there. We don't see much of them anymore. And I mean, they used to travel a long way to come to our races.
Yeah, well, they did, and I mean, they got to come from Wilmington, and you know how far it is to Wilmington, and the cost went up, but the price, the winning didn't go up a lot. We still at $1,500 to win most of these races, and you get whatever, $150 to start, $125, whatever it is to start. But And these races got so competitive these days. And the Bruises got certain places they run real good at. You know, they the only ones now that they really race with us at any time that drives a Toyota. And when we get to Charlotte, they tough.
Really? That's a Toyota track. Huh?
Well,
how long we got?
10 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're doing a giveaway.
Yeah.
Pete running good at Charlotte one time and got turned over. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
My country is WCON FM, Cornelia, Athens, Gainesville. This is the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON. Presented by Jackie Jones, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Cleveland. From NASCAR to local tracks, it's everything you need to know with your host, Georgia Racing Hall of Fame announcer, Charles Head.
And we're firing off into our second hour. Steve Massey is my co-host tonight. Steve, you had a good time so far?
So far.
Yeah, so far. We'll see if we can ruin it coming up this hour.
You can close your bedtime, but yeah, so far.
Well, so far, so good. It has been a great night so far, and Logan Bennett is here, and he is ready to answer the phone calls because it's time now for that giveaway for Atlanta Motorsports Park. Now, if you've never been there, they've got a kart rental track. You go up, it's a regular kart track. You go up 55 miles an hour. You're able to race on that racetrack. They're open every day but Monday, and we're going to give that away to a lucky listener right now. So get to those phones and get ready. Steve, how many calls you want Logan to answer?
Let's go with 3.
We're going to go with 3. So third caller at 706-778-0993. Once again, write that down. 706-778-0993. Be our third caller, and you will win an opportunity to go to Atlanta Motorsports Park absolutely free and be part of the kart rental program up there and enjoy yourself as you go around the racetrack. It is such an awesome experience. That's like a country club racetrack. And, man, the sights and the sounds and the smells at that racetrack are just great. Atlanta Motorsports Park, check it out. We haven't got a call yet, so go ahead and call in and let's see if we can get our winners at, area code 706-778-0993. 55 mile per hour karting. Steve, they go down off of turn number 2, and it is a 3-story, 30-foot drop. They do a 180-degree turn and come right back up the hill. It is the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen in your life. And, I mean, if you don't carry the momentum, you won't get up the hill. But you're going a complete drop, and you got to turn 180 degrees, so you're scared to keep the momentum up. It is an unbelievable thing.
That's something Jamie like that. He used to go down there and ride them carts down there in Greenville.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had set fast time a bunch of times.
Really?
Boy, don't weigh but 110 pounds.
Yeah,
he got a little advantage on some of us fat folks.
How did he's a chip off the old block, but how did he wind up just skinny and thin like that?
I was to start with.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, I was 130 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know, I got married and
got complacent.
I got a divorce, and then I moved next door to my grandma, and she cooks good. And next thing you know, I'm 150, 160, 180, and then we kept going. We going back the other way now. I got to 260, but I'm back.
That's good.
I'm back to 240 now, so
good deal.
Going down the hill.
Well, now you moved to Myrtle Beach for a while. Now, were you doing boat repair over there, or go-kart, or golf carts? What were you doing over there?
I was doing golf carts. I went down there. I bought a pressure washer deal and went down there. But Myrtle Beach, man. If you go there, there's so many people trying to work and do stuff. You got to do it dirt cheap, or you won't get it. They won't give it to you. You pressure wash a whole house for $100. We don't do that here. It's $300-400, to do a house.
Yeah.
But they don't do it like we do either. They go down there and they just blast the sides off and knock that little old mold off of it. They have to do it probably every year down there.
Wow.
And 30 minutes, they booked and gone. They made $100.
Wow.
So when I went to clean the house down there, and it was going to take me 3 and 4 hours or half a day.
Yeah.
And I had to do it for $125. I said, heck with this. I went and got a job.
Man,
so
goodness.
I went to work at a golf park place.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of golf going on at Myrtle Beach for sure.
Golf capital of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Our winner is Vinny. Oh, Vinny Livingston. Vinny, I know Vinny well. Yeah, how about that? Vinny is one of my clients in the weight loss program, and Vinny's going to be in a go-kart. He's going to be having himself some fun at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Congratulations to Vinny Livingston. And here's a little bit of Kenny Chesney coming up with you on My Country 99.3 WCON. Kenny's going to talk about a girl that's got it all. Here's Kenny Chesney.
All right.
Okay, so we're back. Oh, Vinny, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Vinny. He's going to enjoy that.
Okay.
So now we're talking about Myrtle Beach. You ever been to Myrtle Beach, Logan?
Yeah, actually, it's been a long time. I was a kid last time I went. I couldn't have been any older than 6, 7.
You know, the last time I was at Myrtle Beach?
When?
I was announcing a NASCAR race at Myrtle Beach Speedway. You
Really?
know how long that's been? It's
been
been gone 10 years at least, and that's probably been 20 years ago.
Well, I think it was still there when I lived down there. That was 7 years ago.
Okay.
They've actually tore it down. It's gone
Right, it's
now.
gone, yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened about 3-4 years ago. They putting up some apartment complexes there now, condominiums or whatever. But, you know, Myrtle Beach is big and it keeps growing, and you know, sooner or later it's going to take over.
Yeah, we used to always go up North Myrtle in that area and stay.
Hey, Charles, real quick. Do we want to get the results out of the way when we get back from Kenny Chesney, then go straight into our next
Yeah,
guest
Steve's
segment?
got the results. We'll do that right quick, and then we'll go to the next song.
No,
we go to Nick.
Yeah, we'll go to Nick.
We go straight to Nick after results?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Fulcher, is that his name?
Yeah, Fulcher.
Fulcher.
Yeah.
Fulcher.
Okay.
I'm going to work on getting home.
How long is this song?
About 1:50.
Minute 50. Okay.
You going to do the Eldor or me do the Winder?
No, you do them all.
I ain't got to do Joey Logano, right? You don't got that out of the way.
Yeah, we got Logano out of the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say that. All right.
Primarily, want to do let's start with Winder. Let's start
Okay.
with local results, and then let's go back and pick up Eldora.
No problem.
And anything you want to say about Eldora, you can. Whatever you want. I mean, Davenport had some good nights up there too.
Davenport's good nights everywhere up there. Every time he goes, I mean,
golly,
he owns that place.
He does. He kind of owns the place right now.
Yeah, he sure does.
Hey, Nick, hope you're doing well this evening.
Oh, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'm tickled for him. He and Rachel, they have done very well in this sport. And I guess he's just on the road about all the time now.
Oh, you know, he come to Westminster in a Pinto years ago.
He was at 106 on a regular basis on Friday nights. We ran 106.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't race 106 a few times.
I enjoyed that track. I worked for Brad over there for a lot of years.
I remember Bill come down there with a Thunder and Lightning car going to run hobby down there, and they had to have a steel roof.
Yeah.
And Brad told me he couldn't run because he had an aluminum roof on it. So he took the hood off Kevin Kelly's race car and tied it to the top of that car and had a steel roof. Won the race.
Wow. Oh, well.
Leave it to Bill, right?
I've seen some things that I don't know that they'd necessarily make it through the tech shed, but I've seen some things like that happen.
That's what happened. He said, the man said you had to have a steel roof. So he got Kevin's hood off his car, and they tied it, strapped it to the roof.
I bet Brad just shaking his head, wasn't he?
Yeah, Brad. He said, well, you done well said. You know, Bill, he don't care one way or another. He's regardless.
That Bill Morgan, and he's probably watching. Bill Morgan is a hoot, buddy. All right, what are you doing, Logan?
We got Nick on the line. We're going to do the results first, and we have 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Okay, here we go. Getting ready for results.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And you don't even have to wait till Monday morning to get the results, because we got results right now. Our results brought to you by Scoot Rice and all the folks at Mid-South Cage Equipment. And here's Steve Massey with our results.
All right, we got results from Winder. We had James Cason won limited. And Chris Woods, he's won Hobby 602. I think he's won a bunch of them this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how many, but he's
I think
their
like
tail.
17 or 18 total wins that Chris had this year. Been way up there.
He's kicked their tail. I know that. Chris Jones, he won Modified Street. Mark Chancey, ain't no telling how many races Mark Chancey's won.
Yeah, Mark, I think, got him another championship this year. Yeah.
Yep. Old buddy Justin Taylor, he won Stock 4.
You know, it's been a while since Justin had he had kind of a little bit of an off season, and I think he's maybe had 1 or 2 wins this year. But it's good to see Justin
I'll
back.
tell you
in
what,
there.
he's come to a few MMSA races and showed out. He ain't had real good luck, but I think he finished third one time in the MMSA race, but he's come and had some top qualifying races and got in the redraw and stuff. He's a contender wherever he goes.
Matter of fact, let me ask you about this. Last time I saw Justin, I think we were at Livonia, and the top on his car, I mean, it's just shrinking every week. It just gets smaller and smaller. It looked like a little bikini top on that thing.
Well, you don't have to have one. And other day I told him, I said, look here, I said, I know you got this little. He don't want his hands to fly off the roof, or something come through and hit him in the head. And he's got these lips on the side and a little lip at the back. And I said, now, you trying to make a spoiler out of your top? I said, sooner or later, I'm going to have to tell you that's enough.
Yeah.
He just kind of grinned, went on. He said, well, you let me know when that is, and I'll fix it. And I said, all right. So we just kind of on the same page with that after I told him that. Anyway.
I got you.
But stock 4B was Mason Peppers, and front wheel drive was Kelly Cox. Of course, we had him on here a little bit ago.
Yeah, and James Cason is going to be joining us a little while too. And Mason Peppers, I think, wound up with the championship. You know, they had their last season championship race, so a lot of guys crowned champions, and James Cason got the champion in the limited. Chris Woods got champion in 602. So really good to see those guys coming on strong and doing that. And we'll talk a little more about that as we have our championship events coming up a little later. Right now, Nick Fulcher's online with us. Is that right? Oh,
yep.
no, we want to talk first. Before we do Nick, we're going to talk about the Eldora. Yeah, the World 100 last weekend. Let's talk about Eldora.
Yeah, well, we all know who Bobby Pierce won that race. And what's that, 30-something this year for the year, man, I think it is. And, of course, JD, I thought JD was going to win the race. And then I thought Dale McDowell was going to win the race. And, of course, some people say it's a little controversy with Dale. I think he got the bad end of the deal.
Yeah, he handled it with class.
Dale is the class act.
Yeah.
They ain't nobody. I would have been livid.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
And,
I think everybody's pulling for Dale McDowell because of the situation he's been through with his health and so forth.
Yeah.
And he's out there still doing it.
And a Bloomquist car. And I mean,
right.
I've never been a Bloomquist fan, but, I understand a lot of folks are. And good to see him, the tribute they done to Bloomquist.
That was unreal.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
That drone light show. I don't see how they do that, but I think I've seen that at the Olympics or something.
Oh, really?
One time they were doing that, and I don't see how in the world they do that.
That was unreal. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah,
technology.
And of course, JD Davenport's just showing the way. I mean, he is just the master of Eldora.
That car.
Yeah.
I mean, he's run that same car for 5-6 years. He said he's going to put it back up where he got it from, and it'll be right there for the next time Eldora. So, until it gets tore up, I guess. That goes to show you, it ain't got to be brand new.
Right.
It just got to be JD in it, I guess,
I guess so. But that's our results from the weekend. And I think we went a little prematurely to Nick Fulcher, but we got him on right now. So, Nick, join us on the program. Nick, how are you?
Hey, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Fine. We finally got to you. Sorry about that. I was a little premature on my part to pass up Eldora and not get to you. Steve, specifically, I asked Steve, I said, is there anybody you particularly want to have on tonight as somebody that you want to have? And he said, let's talk to Nick Fulcher. So I'm excited that Steve wanted to have you on here. And you do have one of the best attitudes of any driver out there on the track.
I try to. It wasn't like that a while back. I tell you that I've come a long ways, and there's been certain instances that I've learned from, and then ultimately I realized that kids watch us, and there's no reason to be getting mad and have an attitude, especially whenever all the kids and all the fans come out and see you race, and that's the last thing you want to be doing in front of them.
Yep. I was talking to a young driver this week, and I was kind of mentoring him a little bit and talking to him, and I said, remember, young kids are looking at you, and no matter what the situation you're in, you never know what young eyes and young ears are watching and hearing, and that's extremely important. And you're exactly right. If for nothing else, be a good guy because it makes you look good to kids. I mean, if you can't do it on your own, at least do it for them, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's the reason why I do it, is for my kids and my son, and that's the reason why I'm here doing it. And to turn around and go tuck your helmet through the front of the trailer because you're mad because you've got a flat tire or something, and then you turn around and they're looking at you and they're scared. It's like, no, it's not worth all that. And that instant right there, that changed me.
Yeah, Steve, I know that Nick has followed the series quite a bit. What have you seen in Nick that you like?
I tell you, Nick's got the best attitude of anybody that runs with us. Like I told you earlier, he could blow his car up and wreck it and catch on fire and burn, and he'd think he'd get out with a smile. And I don't blame him. The man's got something to smile about. He's got one of the greatest kids in the world. I tell you what, his little boy Lyle, I love him to death. He's my driver.
That's right.
I put him on. He comes over and looks at me, and he wants on that side by side, and he's ready for me to go ride him. And I spend 30 minutes riding him around the racetrack. And then he wants to drive. Now, he's not a very good driver, but you put your seatbelt on when you ride with Lyle.
That's right.
Nick's got a good family. They support racing. They used to be one of our sponsors. And, well, in fact, I think you still are this year, ain't you?
No, sir. We're switching jobs.
Oh, you ditched us. That's right. Yeah.
I switched careers. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and you and Justin both come all. You missed a race this year, and you got. I don't know how far is it to Train Handle Line from your house this week?
I'm about 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's about 6 hours from my house, and then I mean, it's a long ride. I hope we get to go and get it in.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. I'm excited. Me and Mr. Justin Jacobs, we're gonna put both cars on the 34-foot trailer, and I'm gonna take my black truck up that way.
Good.
I don't blame you. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you and Justin.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we've watched Justin grow up in this sport too, and I'm excited for him and him running the series this year. It's awfully good to see that happening.
You two guys are proving Georgia boys can come race with us too and do good. Both of you.
And if it wasn't for my support system, I mean, I wouldn't be nobody. But I tell you, me and Mr. Jacobs, we got this little secret thing going on. Who's going to win Rookie of the Year? So we're after each other's throats secretly.
Y'all close. Y'all close. One of you have a bad night, you be in trouble.
Yeah. You may not want to put that car on that 34-foot trailer and bring it home.
That's right. I'll be dragging it to the house.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, hang on a minute. We're going to take a quick break and come back. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Nick Fulcher is our guest. Got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. Yeah, we're on My Country 99.3 WCON. We'll be back after these messages.
Do you remember as a kid riding along with your Tonka toys, dozer, and dump trucks? Well, that childhood memory can come to real life at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Now, Simpson is looking for men and women who want to work and who know the value of a hard day's work and who want to get paid well for doing it. If you're open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
Smith Tire and Alignment in Livonia is helping My Country fill their tire needs. Adam Smith and his staff can fix your brakes, change your oil, and perform other light mechanic work. But tires are what Smith Tire and Alignment is all about. All major brands are available at Smith Tire and Alignment, from routine maintenance to tires. Stop by and see what Smith Tire and Alignment can do for you. Located on Jones Street in Livonia. Just look for the big number 14 race car on the pole.
For the last 30 years on the Champ Racing Show, I've been telling folks about Napa Auto Parts and that great Napa know-how. Now there are even more locations for great aftermarket and genuine replacement parts to serve you. Napa Auto Parts stores are located in Toccoa, Clayton, Commerce, Jefferson, Elberton, and Hartwell in Georgia. And in South Carolina, find Napa stores in Westminster, Walhalla, Seneca, Easley, and 2 locations in Anderson. The best parts at the best prices. Napa Auto Parts and that unmistakable Napa know-how.
Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
And we had this really cool commercial that I had cut about Toccoa Raceway. I spent like 3 hours cutting this commercial with sound effects and all kind of stuff, talking about what a great race it was going to be for the Stephen Ragg Memorial this weekend. And guess what? It's going to be rained out. So that will not happen. It's going to be October, mid-October sometime. Check that, because that date is going to be good. Still $10,000 to win for the Stephen Ragg Memorial coming up middle of October, and we'll get more with you on the dates as that gets closer to us, but that's the way it's going to be at Toccoa Raceway. So that has been postponed from this Saturday night, and it will occur mid-October at Toccoa Raceway. So let's go to our back to our phone lines, and Nick Fulcher is still with us. Nick, whenever you look at this weekend, weather may be a factor, but let's hope it's not going to be. Let's hope y'all are going to get this race in.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, just one, because we pulling 2 cars up the road. That'd be fun for all the kids and everybody to see all the way from here to there.
Yeah.
And 2, I think me and the cars clicking here lately. I've tried a couple of things, and me and Taylor, Justin, and we did a couple of things. So I'm one with the car here lately. So I'm ready to get out there and see where I'm at with the MMSA guys.
Good deal. Steve's got some questions for you.
What about next week? You gonna try the asphalt there at Anderson?
Oh, you know I'm coming to that, Steve.
And Jamie's got his motor out, getting freshened up, and hopefully he'll I think he'll be done in time. He said if you get it back Tuesday, he's gonna be ready to go. So I told him I may have to go and put it in for him. So I don't know what we do.
That's right.
We got a lot
at
of
the end of
folks.
the day, we all help each other. If you need something, we be on the way. All of us be up there putting motor in if we need to.
Yeah, well, he's got to go to Jelly Roll concert Wednesday and Thursday at the beach, so he won't have time to put it in if he don't get it back Tuesday. So there's a pile of folks coming to that thing. I think it's going to be big. There's a whole bunch of Thunder Bombers coming to that race.
Yeah, it's going to be big. That's for sure. I was at Lanier when they ran the late models on asphalt.
Right.
Southern All-Stars, and that was one of the biggest nights at Lanier I can remember. It's going to be huge at Anderson.
There's been some late models that done our practicing. I don't know how many for sure. Scott said he can give free tires to anybody who want to come practice.
Wow, that's going to be something. Hey, Nick, let's talk about sponsors right quick. Who you got?
I got a few different sponsors. One second. I got a list together for this.
Okay, good deal.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to, my number one is Heath Carlisle from Performance. That man goes over and beyond for me. I feel real special to be in a relationship with him and have the relationship we have together. That man treats me like I'm his son. When I mess up, he tells me exactly what I did wrong and how to fix it. And sometimes he's real firm about it. I mean, like he's been hard on me, and that's helped me grow. Like he's not afraid to tell me what I don't want to hear. Right.
Yeah.
And then after that, I have of course, my wife. She's my number one. With Morgan Fulcher Real Estate, she works for Remax Center out of Brazelton. Call her if you need to get a house, buy a house, or sell a house. She's top notch. And then Mr. TJ and Ivy Hooper with Hooper's Truck Repair. He's a class act. He'd bend over backwards and do anything for me. And then my all-time Mr. Taylor, Justin Taylor, with Taylor Built. Even though he didn't build my car, he has been there with me every step of the way in adjustments and teach me. That meant I would not be no one if it wasn't for him. And him and his dad, PJ Taylor, is the one that's got me started in this stuff 10 plus years ago. And and then Elite RV and Mobile Services. That's my new company. Any kind of RV repairs, and we work with insurance. We're certified. We're all insured and all that good stuff. So Elite RV and Mobile Services. You got to check us out. One of my customers with Elite, Mr. Charles Walls. He owns Live Oak Landscapes out of Friary Branch. And I got a few special things. Just my everyday and whenever I need somebody, and when I feel like just hanging it all up and wanting to quit and need somebody to call it late at night and fuss at, even though it's not their fault, I still blame it on them.
That's why I do it.
Miss Christy McCannon with RoSafe. She keeps everything designed up. I got a Trump 2024 car right now.
Ah, cool. I
got Mr. Eddie Daniels. He'll show up when I need him. Mr. Jonathan Martin. Of course, my little Justin Jacobs. Brandon Cox. PJ Taylor. He picks up the phone anytime I call. And my brother, even though he don't like going, he's still here wrenching on the car throughout the week or anything like that. And my all-time and my newest buddy is Mr. Jamie Massey. Man, I love that little guy. And then, most importantly, my wife, my son Lyle, and my daughter Harper. There's the reason why I'm here. And honestly, I mean, if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Right?
Gotcha.
And I give all thanks to them.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, we appreciate it, man. It's good to talk to you. Good luck this weekend. Hope it turns out well for you. Hope you get that race in, and hope you do well when you get there.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys very much, and thanks for having me on the show. And Steve, thanks for thinking so much about me, man. I sure do appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I'll see you Saturday, and good luck.
All right, Stevie. I'll see you then.
All right. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate you being on. Nick Fulcher has been our guest. Right now, it's time for a little Trisha Yearwood. Yeah, we saw Trisha Yearwood singing at Rosalind Carter's memorial service just a little while ago. But tonight, she's singing about X's and O's here on My Country 99.3.
Okay.
Okay, man, I got something in my throat there. I thought I wasn't going to make it through that intro.
You're good.
So, Nick's a good guy.
He is.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this asphalt thing. What are the guys changing on their cars to go to Anderson to race on asphalt?
Well, mainly tires. I don't know. Some of these guys, they got some asphalt ringers come help them out. Set their cars up and this and that and the other. And it's been a big deal. There's a lot of guys asphalt racers that thought they was going to get the race in it, and we told them no. I don't know if you watch what is it up there at Bowman Gray, that last race, that what's that kid's name that won that race? I can't think of his name. Anyway, they wanted to come race him and his brother, and we told them no. They got the same car. They run on dirt and asphalt.
So what are the parameters? Can anybody that you got to never have run asphalt or just not a regular or what?
We got some guys that run both. Now, if you have won an asphalt championship or something like that, if you predominantly run asphalt, then you're an asphalt racer does. We want people that runs at Travelers Rest and Harris and people that travel with our series. If you haven't run with us, you don't race. Stuff like that. I mean,
it's hard to police that though.
It is, and
I know we had that old school race at Livonia, and the guy that won it, nobody around here had ever heard of him, but everybody was saying, man, he had championships. So you never know. It's hard to figure out.
He did. I got on to him about that. I don't think he should have won the race, but he did.
But nobody knew him. Man.
Nobody knew who he was until after he won the race.
Right.
Then everybody knew. They went looking to see who he was.
Yeah.
And then they found out, hey, he's the man that builds all these race cars.
Yeah.
He ain't been quit racing but a year or so.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But it's hard to police that ahead of time.
And he was happy. I'm glad he won. He's a good friend of mine. I'm glad he won. Me and him since then has got to be good friends. I'm glad he. I'd like to see him.
Well, Dennis Brown was. Wasn't he one of the ones that was in there?
Terry finished second.
Yeah, Terry, that's right.
Terry finished second, a close second, too.
And, Deborah Brown was like third or fourth in there.
Yeah. That was a good race. I'll tell you, that powder puff race the other night was something else, too. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. To start with, and then they got a few wrecks going on there. And of course, TJ Ivy, his daughter, she hit the ball pretty hard.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was.
Well, the girl that won it was down around Savannah area. I wanted to try to get her on the show, but we're doing live shows on location too far.
John Locke's wife.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Johnny Rocket race car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a few rules because of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she used to give me a hard time because we didn't allow X bracing underneath the car.
Uh-huh.
Well, she called me, just about cussed me out. She said, "You're gonna get somebody killed." So
why is that? Why you not allow X bracing?
We do now. It was just something had been in the rules for years, and it used to be you say no crossing of frames, and that meant that you couldn't run a Ford motor in a Chevrolet car.
Mm-hmm.
But people thought at the time it meant no X bracing. And then later on, everybody got that no X bracing got put in the rules. And I mean, it's a safety thing.
Well, when I was building a car back in the 70s, I was building a 55 Chevrolet. I remember that being in the rules, no X bracing. And I couldn't figure out what in the world was wrong with that.
It makes the car a little more rigid, I guess. But, if you got two bars underneath your seat, underneath the floor pan, that's good and bad. If the man's a good welder and it'll hold up, that's good if somebody hits you while you're upside down. But if he's not a good welder, that piece is going to stab you in the rear end, go through your seat. So it's good and bad. And it's legal in about every class now.
So how do you, when you're the tech man, so what do you check before the race, and then what do you check after the race?
Well, at Charlotte, I do a little more thorough checking, make sure floor pans and stuff like that's in there. I kind of glance. Just because I pre-race check, you don't mean you illegal. Some people think, well, you let me through tech, but no, that ain't the case. I got called some names last year at Charlotte because I didn't catch a mirror in a guy's car, but our rules plainly says you can't run a mirror. Then he crossed he made the race through the last chance race, and when he come across the scale, somebody was standing there and said, "Hey, he's got a mirror." Well, I had no choice but to go down there and DQ him.
Did he have it covered up when he first went through tech?
He said, "You didn't." He said, "I come through pre-race tech," and I said, "Well, I don't check everything." And I said, "I think we mentioned that in pre-race tech." And he said no, and I don't know if we did or not, but it's regardless, it's in the rules. And I hated to throw him out. And be honest with you, we was going to give him provisional until he cussed me out. Then I wasn't going to give him nothing after he cussed me out. So, but it's a live and learn thing. We check, 4-cylinder, you got a certain header you got to run. Mm-hmm. And we try to look at that stuff, and you got shock mounts. Make sure you got the right shocks on. And Thunder Bomber, they got a spec shock they got to run.
But now, do you weigh them before the race, or is that just after the race?
We weigh after the race.
Okay,
we weigh top 5. Or everybody after qualifying. Then top 5 after the main event, and then we pull 3 to the tech area and check 2 most of the time.
Yeah. Where are we at, Logan?
15 seconds.
Okay. All right. Good.
We got Josh on the line.
Okay. So after tech, obviously the winner gets teched a whole lot more than anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. Here we go.
This is the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show with Charles Head on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And Steve Massey is my co-host tonight, and we are joined now by a driver who went to Victory Lane just a couple of weeks ago and put his modified street in Victory Lane at Winder Barrow Speedway. Josh Hardegree is joining us on the program. Josh, how you doing?
Good, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good to talk to you.
You too.
Yeah, man, we've been trying to hook up here for the last couple of weeks and just hadn't had a chance to do it because we weren't in studio. We had to do this one by phone. So tell us a little bit about that win that occurred a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, well, we had a couple of them back to back. It's only about that's probably about the third or fourth time we ran this car, and had a few little issues the first couple of races, and Winder, they qualify, so we went out there and set it on the pole about the third race and was able to bring it home. And then the next week, same thing, put it on the pole and let every lap. So it's been good. It's been good to us so far.
Modified Street's one of my favorite divisions. The cars still kind of look like they came off the showroom floor, and they're fast. They're just a great division. What got you into Modified Street? Why did you choose that division?
Oh, well, I mean, I ran Modified Street years ago, and then I had the opportunity to run, late model for a couple of years, and then about 2 years ago, we decided to go back to Modified Street, and, well, I was actually going to get out of racing, and then my dad, he talked me into it. He's like, if you quit, you're going to wish you hadn't. So we decided to build this Modified Street car. We've been working on it it took us about a year and a half to get it together, so we went back to Modified Street, and that just seems to where we had the most fun at. So,
well, it's a fun division for sure. How'd you come up with your number? You're number 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Where'd that come from?
Doug Knupp. He I watched him ever since I was a kid at Athens Speedway, and that's and that was my dad's number as well, and Doug kind of drove him and Mac had a little deal worked out there for a while, and I don't know, it's just been 12 ever since.
Wow. Isn't Tyler Knupp's number 12 also?
He's 112. He's
112. Okay, I knew there was something with a 12 in there with Tyler's car as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's the season? I mean, you had those 2 wins back to back. How's the rest of the season gone for you?
It's going pretty good. This past week we put it on the pole again, and I led about 6 or 7 laps, and I caught a lap car, and it was my fault. I went in there and I caught him so quick I didn't know what to do, and I spun out.
Wow. Well, now Chris Jones, I hadn't seen Chris's name show up, and all of a sudden now I think he's won the last 2.
Yeah. Chris he's been the last several weeks he's been right there beside me on the pole. So he's I love racing with Chris. He's a good competitor, and he's always going to give you respect on the track. So.
Yep. He's not much of a talker, though. I try to get Chris on the show, and that's not my thing.
Yeah. He don't say a lot.
Yeah, he's not one to do that. Hey, Josh, hang on a minute. We're going to take a break and come back and talk some more, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Josh Hardegree is with us on the program. Got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show, and we are sitting here at My Country 99.3 WCON.
The open road, it's filled with twists and turns, hills and valleys, but what lies beyond that open road? A Jeep owner knows, because they can go beyond the road to places that only a Jeep can take them. Right now, you can take advantage of unheard-of rebates and discounts at Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, with all Jeeps in stock below invoice because Jackie Jones is overstocked with new Jeeps. That's Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Cleveland, Georgia. The best price every time, period.
How many times as a kid did you pull your arm down and yell, "Blow the horn," at truckers you'd see on the highway, wanting them to blow their horn? What if you were that driver and some kid was making that same memory looking at you? That's what's available to you right now as a team member at Simpson Trucking and Grading. Big trucks, big salaries, big deal. and is just waiting for you at Simpson Trucking and Grading. If you are open to a new career in the trucking or heavy equipment field, contact Simpson Trucking and Grading on Candler Road in Gainesville or give them a call, 770-536-4731. That's 770-536-4731. Simpson Trucking and Grading wants you.
Hey, here's a special deal for you from Bulldog Car Wash. It's the return of the $5 car wash, but you only get it if you mention you heard it on the Champ Show. Yes, to commemorate Bulldog's 20th anniversary on Big A Road in Toccoa, they're offering the $5 car wash. Remember to tell them you heard it on the Champ Show to get your special savings. Also, the Bulldog Car Wash Club is only $15 a month. That's the best price in town by far. Get your car clean and save money while doing it. Bulldog Car Wash, the people's choice as best car wash 5 years in a row. Why don't you join Debbie and me in the Bulldog Car Wash Club? It's across from McDonald's in Toccoa. I've just got to tell you about the folks at J&C Auto Care in Toccoa. My truck was blowing oil all over the place. Well, I took it to several places who just couldn't figure out what was going on. But Jason and Clay knew exactly what to do. And you know why? They've been voted the best repair shop in Toccoa 2 years running. They're locally owned and operated. Check them out at 70 Mize Road in Toccoa. J&C Auto Care.
For all of your welding and safety equipment needs, try Safety Plus in Cornelia. Wendell and Pat Norton can supply you with the best equipment in the industry. Miller and Lincoln Welders, Victor Torches, gloves, fire extinguishers, and personal safety equipment all in stock at Safety Plus in Cornelia. They have everything to keep you and your work environment safe and under control. Safety Plus is located on Cannon Bridge Road, and Safety Plus is a proud sponsor of racetracks and drivers in our area. Safety Plus.
Dirt Tracks. We're talking racing on the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And talking racing is Steve Massey along with me, and Josh Hardegree joins us on there. And Steve, you got some questions for Josh?
Yeah, Josh. How long you been racing? One question.
Oh, I've been racing probably what was this 24 years, I'd say.
Wow. Yeah. Long time.
Yeah.
Who's your hero?
My hero, on a local level or a national level?
Local level.
Local level. Man, I'd say Ken Lamp.
Ken Lamp. Yeah, that's a
good man.
Yep.
I figured you might say Wormigatus.
Well, I mean, he's a close second.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was so excited to see Ken win that race the other night. Man, I think everybody was. I think that was a feel-good moment for just about everybody.
It was. It sure was.
Yeah. So now, let's talk about sponsors. Who you got on the car?
I got Thomason Performance, Specialty Paint and Body, Oconee Automotive Solutions, DMP Heating and Cooling, DGW Powder Coating, Pit Road Creations, Thomason Tractor Repair, and then I got Chris Few with Vapor Chassis. And, that's... Well, I got my mom and dad, you know, and got Dink Gone Wild. And, he's there when I need a hand.
Well, I figured you had Dink on there, being that you had a Coles deal on there, Pit Road Creations.
Oh yeah, I got him. Yes, sir.
Good deal. Now, what about folks who help you on the race car? Who's your crew?
Crew mostly every week is Chris Few. He's right here with me. In the shop, and if I need a hand, I got Dink. He'll pop in and help me if I really need a hand. But and then. On race days, my dad works so much, so he shows up here on Saturdays and he goes to the track with us and gives us a hand.
Got you. I got you. Well, listen, we appreciate you being on the program, Josh. Good to talk to you. Good to find out a little bit more about you, and good luck this weekend coming up, man. The Roger Cooper Memorial. I know it's not for modified streets, but still, it's going to be a big night at Winder.
Oh yeah, that's a good deal there they got going on. It's going to be a good show. Yeah,
it's going to be. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, Josh Hardegree has been our guest. Right now, it's time for a little Tim McGraw here on My Country 99.3. It's talking about my next 30 years. Man, I can look back and say, what are my next 70 years going to be like? I've already crossed that threshold. We'll see what Tim's got to say right here on My Country. Okay. So you got that coughing under control?
Never. That's a year-round thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Real quick, this is going to be a shorter break. I had to cut one song to make up for a little bit of time, so it's just going to be this, and then we'll go straight to our...
I noticed you over there.
Yeah.
Giving me the, and I couldn't do much about it, but anyway.
No, it's good. It's good. We made up for it. I think we lost a little bit of time during the cart rental stuff, and I think maybe during results, but we're good now.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Okay. So we got James. You get James on the line.
I'm going to get him on the line in about a minute.
Okay. So now, who all's running on asphalt? I knew you said some of the late model guys have been practicing. They're going to run late models too?
Yeah. It's
a full program.
Yeah.
It's not just Scott's stuff.
No, it's what is it? I forgot it was a series got together.
Southern All Stars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dwayne,
yeah.
Dwayne,
Okay.
yeah. Dwayne's one got this going, I guess.
Well, back when Southern All Stars, when B.J. Parker had Southern All Stars, that's what they brought to Lanier was B.J.'s deal. He was the one that started Southern All Stars, and Dwayne's taken that over.
We've talked about it several times with the 4-cylinders and this and that and the other, and you know, as soon as Childers gets there, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Childers all for it, yeah, let's do it. I think it's going to be big. I
Scott,
think a lot of people's coming to watch it too.
Scott and Vonda are so good to work for. They are such a treat, man. There was times in the tower I would have to say, guys, I got to quit talking. I got to do my work here. I mean, they just wanted to just chat and have fun.
They good to work for unless you want to talk to them on the telephone because you ain't going to get
No,
Scott Childers on the
Scott
telephone.
No,
that's a race promoter in general. You ain't going to get them to answer the telephone. That's just out.
But they are great people. I've really enjoyed my time with them at Livonia. It was nice folks to be involved with. And he told me, he said, I'm going to buy, this was years ago, he said, I'm going to buy Anderson, and I want you to keep those Saturday nights open so you can go and join us in Anderson. But I'll retire in the meantime.
He's told me for a while he's going to buy Anderson. We thought about it, going to go to dirt as soon as he gets, but. And Anderson would be a killer dirt track.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be, it would probably be the biggest thing around.
Yeah.
But
we were talking before. We have a hard time supporting the 3 tracks that are running now on Friday and Saturday nights.
Right.
You had a 4th one or a 5th one. It's just going to be impossible.
I say it all the time. Everybody says, "I wish Westminster would come back." Man, I wish Westminster would come back too. But we ain't got enough cars now for the 3 tracks that we do have right here to support. Especially all of them trying to run on the same night like they did a couple of years ago. That's not going to work. Then you got Hartwell coming back, and somebody's going to have to pick Sunday. And I mentioned it a couple of times to Hartwell. Hartwell used to be good on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, man. Those Sunday afternoon and evening races were great.
I used to run Friday night at Westminster, go to Cole on Saturday night. And, a lot of times we'd go to Athens on Saturday night and haul butt home from Athens to get to the Cole and race and trying to fall in the back in the main and run to Cole. And then we go to Hartwell on Sunday.
Yeah.
And not a lot of guys these days.
T-minus 10, James on the line.
10 seconds. Okay, here we go.
Guys these days, they can't last 3 days.
I know.
They fuss about 2.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And I'll be joining Joel and Mary Monday morning about 8:45, and we'll talk about the Watkins Glen race in NASCAR and some local stuff as well. That'll be next Monday morning right here on My Country 99.3. Joining us right now, he's not only did he win the race this weekend, but he also won the championship in limited late models. How cool is that for James Cason? And he joins us on the show. James, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Charles. I hope y'all are.
Yeah, doing good. It's good to talk to you. Congratulations. Well, you got a couple of big trophies this weekend, right?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, man, what a great night to get another win as the night that they were going to crown the champions. That's just pretty cool.
Absolutely. We've been struggling all year, so I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, you got that 105 going for you. Now, you changed numbers on me. You started out with a different number, and then all of a sudden I start seeing pictures of you in a 105. What's the deal with that?
That's right. I started out with 52. I took Mike's number and flipped around, 25 to 52.
Yeah.
And then back in 2018, I had my son. He was born October 5th, so 10-5. It kind of stuck.
I got you. Okay, well, that makes sense. I can understand that. But you got rid of Mike Love's number. That's hard to do.
Yeah, well, those are the 2 biggest shoes to fill for me.
I know. Mike's told me, I asked him, I said, what do you do for James? He said, I sit out there and throw clods on him and tell him where to go on the racetrack. And I don't doubt that at all. That sounds like a Mike Love move right there.
That's about half of it, yes, sir.
Well, you got to be proud of Mike. He got voted in recently to the Anderson Motor Speedway Hall of Fame. Won a lot of races there. He won a lot of races at Livonia when it was asphalt. And of course, he just he kind of owned Lanier. I mean, he had so many wins there; it was unreal. How much do you remember? Where were you at in your growing up years? Whenever he was winning all those races and watching everything.
Oh, about the time I got old enough to remember any of it, they quit on me.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That you might not have seen him in his glory days.
No, sir. I remember, a few Saturdays being young, hanging out over there at Lanier, but not too many of them.
He was the most laid-back driver I think I've ever seen. He'd go out and run a 100-lap race and get out of the race car, and he just kind of lay across the hood. He was just quiet and just as calm as anybody I've ever seen. I've never seen him. It looked like he had no adrenaline whatsoever going through his body. I mean, I've never seen anybody so laid back.
It's probably because he's wore out, Charles.
Well, that's what he says. I was just old and wore out. I don't think it was that. I think he was a little different than that. Now, how is your temperament based on his? How do you roll when it comes to temperament?
No, I don't have a big temper. I'm pretty laid back and cool-headed. I don't let too much get to me.
Yeah, I got you. So now, how in the hierarchy? Tell me how y'all are related, because I know that Jim loves your granddaddy, right?
Correct, and Jim and Mike are brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
So who was your mom?
So he'd be my great uncle. Sandy Love was my mother.
Oh, Sandy was your mama. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, I loved Sandy, man. She and Lois, they would come work with us at the racetrack, and I think for a while there, Sandy actually did some scoring along with Lois in the tower with us at Peach State.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, so we had just such a great time with her, man. Such good people. I tell you, the Loves have made a big difference in my life. The Loves and the Lunsfords both just made a huge difference in my career for sure.
Absolutely, I'm really blessed to be a part of their family.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk more about your racing and about this season. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
James Cason is our guest. Got more to come. It's the Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show. We are sitting at My Country 99.3 WCON and happy to be here back after these messages.
If you're looking for late model used car parts, look no further than Peach State Auto Parts on the Royston Highway in Cannon. That's in the Gold Mine community on Highway 29 between Hartwell and Royston. Scott Heumann and his staff also buy scrap metal, copper, and aluminum cans. They will pick up your junk cars for free. If you need roll-off bins or containers for business or construction, call on Peach State Auto Parts and Recycling. Call Scott today at 706-245-4407. That's 706-245-4407.
The Addison Agency is your one-stop for all your insurance needs. Home, auto, life, commercial, farm, and annuities. They're the insurance agents for Debbie and me. You can find them in Toccoa at Design Point. That's just across Rose Lane from Coates and Clark. See Daryl, Bonda, Colby, or Mary Ann for the best quotes from Auto Owners Insurance. Call them tomorrow morning, 706-886-1247. The Addison Agency is our insurance agency. Make sure they're yours too.
Bowling Farm Supply is like a step back in time. Remember when you go to the feed store with your dad or granddad? Well, at Bowling Farm Supply, you can relive those great memories. Of course, they have feed, seed, and fertilizer along with soil, hay, and mulch, but they have so much more. A massive selection of knives, names like Case, Buck, Poker, and Rooster, and handmade knives, jugs, antique Zippo lighters. It's more than just a feed store. It's a unique shopping experience. Bowling Farm Supplies are located at the corner of Highway 198 on Damascus Road in Homer.
You know what Debbie and I don't do anymore? Clean our pool. That's because we've hooked up with Aquabot of Georgia. The Aquabot robotic pool cleaner is #1 in pool cleaning technology. This amazing robotic technology maps the pool floor, scrubs and microfilters your water down to 2 microns, saving you time and money on expensive chemicals and water. You simply plug in the tangle-free power cord, drop it in the pool, and walk away to enjoy your free time. That's it. Stop by Aquabot of Georgia in Gainesville at Chastain Janitorial and see our friends Shane and Debbie Chastain. They'll hook you up. They've served North Georgia for 30 years. Check them out at aquabotofgeorgia.com. Your pool cleaning days are over.
If you're looking for the best shock package for your 602 late model, modified street, stock A, or open wheel modified, then Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance is who you need to call. Joey's helped many top name drivers achieve success by building their shocks to be the best on the track. Choosing from famous names like AFCO, Bilstein, Orem, Fox, and Penske. From dialing your shocks to spring rate adjustments, Joey knows all the tricks of the trade. And don't forget your racing fuel. Racecraft Performance has that too. Contact Joey Dorsey at Racecraft Performance at 706-436-2294 or see him at Modern Tire in Hartwell.
Get weekend results with the Champ Racing Recap, presented by Jackie Jones Dodge Jeep Ram. Monday morning at 8:45 on My Country 99.3 WCON.
And James Cason is our guest. And James, let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about the whole family. Let's talk about your racing. You said you finally got it back in victory lane. Tell us about the season, how it's been this year.
It's been good, and we showed speed all year, a bunch of seconds and thirds, but just luck didn't really strike our way. Qualified on the pole one night, broke a drive shaft. Was leading the race with 3 to go, and a fuel pump come out of the back of the power steering pump in or not. Just had a streak of bad luck, but I think we finally got the monkey off our back, so pointing in the right direction. It's a little too late in the season for that, but we're here.
Take it when you can get it, because that sometimes they never turn around, so take it whenever it
Absolutely.
comes. Also, the good thing about it is, man, you're peaking at the right time. You still got a championship, so that's pretty stout right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm pleased with that. We got a great group of guys down there. Competition's pretty fierce down there at Winder, and Stevens had that racetrack and phenomenal all year. It's been great racing all around.
Wayne Martin does just such a super job on a racetrack. By the way, Steve Massey's got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know when we run that 602 series, you run some with us. Which you like best? You like limited 602? What do you think the big difference is?
I don't know. I like this limited stuff pretty good. You don't have to be as perfect with the car, you know. I mean, you pick up a little push, and you can correct it with the throttle. Feels like you don't have to be as
a little power to get out of it.
That's right. You can cover up your mistakes a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's easier. It's not easier, but I just enjoy it a little better.
Yeah. Hey James, we got about a minute left. Who are your sponsors on the car?
Absolutely, Martin Truck Repair, Rod Roberts Trucking, Ronald Roberts Oil Service, CTC Innovations, Train Chassis, Benji Cole. He's a big help to us. Turbo Terminal Tractors, Carrie's Towing and Recovery, Aaron and Gavin out there, man, they're there whenever I call them. Gambler Performance, Bobby Sexton, the Barn Ball Shop, Gus Simpson LLC, Kenny Harris Graydon, Double J2 Ranch, It's a Party Event Company, 4K's Barbecue, and Hypercool Springs. And mainly my grandfather, Jim Love, wouldn't be possible without him.
Yeah, I was kidding him the other day. I was at Toccoa the other day, and every time I turned around, he was somewhere, and I said, "You're just spreading love all over this place." And he said, "Yeah, I like that. I'm spreading love." Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you've got a stellar group of sponsors, man. That's a good thing. You've got them along for the ride. And now, who keeps the car up? Who else works on it?
Mainly through the weeks, just me and Jim. On Saturday, my little cousin comes and helps, and my wife, and but for the most part of it, it's just two-man operation under me and Jim.
I got you. Well, listen.
Do the best you can what we have.
You have done well, and we appreciate you being on the program. It's always good to talk to you. And congratulations on not only a win, but a championship. That is pretty cool to have that under your belt,
yes,
too.
Sir.
All righty.
Thank you, Charles.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate that, and we just appreciate whatever you have brought to the table. So continue doing what you're doing, and, man, good luck as you go out through the rest of the season, okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks for all you do for the racing community, Charles. We appreciate you.
Just happy to be along. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's it. It's that's our talk with James Cason. Man, what a great guy he is, and what a great racing family. We got more to come. Jackie Jones Chrysler Dodge Champ Show here on My Country 99.3 WCON.
Mid-South Cage Equipment is one of the largest builders of poultry houses in the Southeast. At Mid-South, they welcome your questions about new technology in the poultry growing industry. From construction to final equipment installation, Mid-South Cage Equipment is your one-stop shop for the poultry grower. Chore time bins and augers, Ziggedy drinking systems, and cool air handling systems are just a few of the top brands available at Mid-South Cage Equipment on Highway 29 north of Royston.
If you want him dead, call Fred. I've been saying this for years. That's because Fred Justice and the staff at Justice Exterminating can make your home pest-free. Justice Exterminating is your local full-service pest control company, serving all of Northeast Georgia. Debbie and I had huge problems. Bugs, roaches, rats, we had them all. Till Justice Exterminating came on the scene. They handled our pest problem in no time flat. We wouldn't go a single month now without our visit from Justice Exterminating. Give them a call today for a free inspection. 706-968-8519. Justice Exterminating will get you pest-free, I promise. Remember, if you want them dead, call Fred at Justice Exterminating.
What a load! That's what you'll be saying when Gus Simpson pulls up with your load of gravel, topsoil, or dirt. Gus has been in the trucking business with his family his whole life. Now Gus has branched out into his own trucking company. Gus Simpson Trucking maintains a fleet of 15 late model dump trucks sitting at the ready to bring your load. Call them for a quote. Write this number down, 678-780-0197. You can also check out the Facebook page at Gus Simpson Trucking.
Do you see what I see every Sunday morning? A red, dusty car. Yep, after a weekend at the dirt tracks, it's pretty disgusting. Well, for nearly 3 years now, we've been part of the Bulldog Car Wash Club. I go by and get my car washed every Sunday and sometimes during the week, too. And it's all for one low monthly payment of $15. That's right, Bulldog Car Wash gives you unlimited washes starting at just $15 a month. The readers of the Toccoa Record have voted Bulldog Car Wash as the best car wash in town for 5 straight years. Chuck Wright and his staff have been serving Toccoa and Stevens County for 20 years. Why don't you join Debbie and me in the Bulldog Car Wash Club across from McDonald's in Toccoa? Hey, coming up this weekend, about the only thing going in the area, Winder Barrow Speedway's got the Roger Cooper Memorial coming up on Saturday night. Of course, NASCAR is going to be at Watkins Glen. Steve Massey has been my co-host tonight. Steve, thanks, man. It's been fun.
Been fun being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a good night. We'll see you again next Thursday night right here on the Champ Racing Show. Check us out at Charles Head Yellow Hat on Facebook. See you next week. Bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Champ Racing Show on My Country 99.3 WCOM. Presented by Jackie Jones.